There's something in my eye, and I'm losing my voice, but I'm still here. Welcome to Blush, the podcast where we avoid reality by diving into the world of BL. I'm your new bestie, Ray. Every week, I'll be doing podcast reviews from BL drama series, old and new, as well as providing updates on upcoming series, ships, and everything BL. Let's dive in. No, but seriously, I don't know what's happening. I've been trying to record every day, and my voice is like, it feels pretty weird. I know I already sound nasally, but maybe I have like some allergies or something going on. But that's besides the point. Welcome back to another episode of Blushed. So if you follow the world of K-pop at all, and you're a mature fan like myself, you have probably heard of K-Will's song Please Don't that had a video starring An Jaehyun and So Inguk that had a wild plot twist in the end where we thought that there was a love triangle between them with the girl that Jaehyun was marrying, but it turned out that So Inguk's character was actually in one-sided love with Jaehyun's character, and this was just sent everyone into a frenzy, and they came up with a nickname, Worldwide Gay. The reason I bring this up is because K-Will decided that 12 years later, just out of the blue, we needed a follow-up to this love story. And he released a song called No Sad Song for My Broken Heart, and the video is starring An Jaehyun and So Inguk again. He jokingly referred to it on a show as Worldwide Gay Part 2. In the video, we see that An Jaehyun's character is, honestly, the video is kind of hard to follow, but the gist of it is An Jaehyun's character is still alive after getting married, and So Inguk's character died. I saw some fan theories about it, but I guess the safest thing to assume is that So Inguk's character died sometime shortly after An Jaehyun got married, and he probably died of a broken heart. After the video premiered, the calls for a BL series starring Jaehyun and Inguk are astronomical. So this week, Cosmo Korea released a photo shoot and a spread with An Jaehyun and So Inguk. Apparently, So Inguk has a friend who is a producer, and he said that he's reached out to this friend to discuss the possibility of producing a 19 plus BL series starring himself and Jaehyun. That is actually insane. And I will definitely be seated if it comes to fruition. But it seems like based on the fan demand, it probably will. In other K-pop related news, Taecyeon from 2PM is going to be starring in a bromance or BL. It's debatable which one it is right now. It is called Soulmate, and it's going to be available on Netflix. He's going to be starring alongside a Japanese actor by the name of Isumura Hayato. It looks like he's been in Alice in Borderland and some other notable Japanese dramas, but I really don't watch that many J-dramas outside of BL, so I can't really speak on it too much. But anyway, the first that I heard about this drama was that it was going to be a bromance. But based on the description that Netflix placed, which says essentially it's going to follow a 10-year male friendship as they help each other heal emotionally, it's giving BL. So we will be watching when that comes out to see. If it's too emotional, I'm not even going to hold you. I'm probably not going to watch it because I'm not good with the tears, but we'll see. It's still a huge possibility, and I'm excited to see it. I've been a fan of 2PM since their debut, and I'm happy to see Tech trying something new. And the last piece of news for today brings us back into the world of Thai BL. If you are a Thai BL fan, you are probably very familiar with Jeff Satur. He is booked and busy lately. He has 3 dramas coming up: Happy Ending, Vamp, the series, and Wooju Bakery. And in addition to that, the trailer for the movie The Paradise of Thorns was released this week. Where does he find the time? Now, if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe Vamp is a BL, even though it is starring Jeff, Mike Angelo, and First from the Jaw First ship. So I'm not too sure of that one. I did watch the trailer. It looks really good though. It looks very interesting, and I think I'm going to give it a try. I've not seen any Thai dramas outside of BL, so it'll probably be my first time venturing into it, but it's always good to try something new. but I want to focus on the trailers for the Paradise of Thorns and Happy Ending. So in the Paradise of Thorns trailer, Jeff's character is in a relationship with this guy, and I'm not too sure of the logistics, but Jeff's character owns a durian orchard, and somehow the orchard is in the name of his lover, and they were going to get married at some point, but in the realm of this show, I don't think same-sex marriage has been legalized in Thailand yet. His lover dies from an accident where he fell out of a durian tree. When he dies, they don't give the orchard to Jeff's character because legally they're not married and he doesn't have any rights to it. So basically the movie is a thriller about Jeff's character trying to get the orchard back from the mom and the sister of his deceased lover. So definitely go check it out on YouTube. It looks crazy. I did not think that fighting over durian farmland would be so intense, but it had me on the edge of my seat. So definitely check that out. So the Happy Ending trailer was pretty intense, and it seems like a story that blurs the lines between fiction and reality. So I'm gonna try my best to explain what I got out of watching it, but you should definitely watch it for yourself. So it seems the story is revolving around a popular online fiction by the name of Finn and Damon, in which Finn is a detective being played by Mike Angelo, and Damon is a murderer or criminal of some sort, being played by Jeff Satur. Barcode's character is an anti-fan of the fiction, and we just get a clip of him saying that he was not satisfied with how Damon's character was defeating Finn. The next day, it is reported on the news that the author of Finn and Damon was found murdered, sitting in an upright position in a chair in their apartment. There goes on to be many scenes of Damon looking like an absolute psychopath, painting artwork, murdering with 2 daggers, and just enjoying being malicious. There's a scene where Finn is talking to his partner, explaining how there have been murders committed with daggers and explaining why the murderer would use daggers, because the cuts left behind are neat, like perfect brush strokes. Then we get a montage of all this crazy stuff happening, and in the inn, and this is where I got a little confused, in the inn, Barcode's character comes face to face with Damon. So I'm not sure I'm guessing Damon is a real person. The story is based on a real person, like a real psychopath, but I have to watch to find out. And the trailer, the cinematography is beautiful, is gorgeous. It's also a thriller, so I'm very excited to check this out. I'm not a fan of horror, but I am a fan of psychological thrillers. So I think that this is going to be a great watch. And from what I can see, I think it'll be coming out sometime in 2025. So we have quite a while to wait, but it'll probably be worth the wait. So that's it for today's news update. Lots of exciting things happening, lots of series. We will never starve in the world of BL, especially with Thai BL. I feel like those are coming out like every other business day at this point. But hopefully in the future, I mean, I know I talked about KBL a little bit, but hopefully in the future we'll be able to talk about more KBL and JBL news. All right, shall we get into episode 5 of We Are? Per usual, if you're interested in skipping, commentary starts right around the 27.5-minute mark. Okay, quick recap on episode 4. As always, if you want to hear my full summary, you can head over to the episode before this one. Pim finally forgives Phum for leaving him at the mall, and they're squared away. We get left on a cliffhanger with them almost kissing, so we're going to find out if that happens in episode 5. We get some more light interaction between Q and Toy, still not too much on their past with each other. And we also see Fong giving in a little bit to Tan, thanking him for helping him with his architecture project. So that was a super quick recap. Let's dive into episode 5. I'm really excited to see what happens. Jumping right back into the car scene, Pim closes his eyes oh my god. So Pim closes his eyes as Phum is leaning in closer, and just as they're about to kiss, there's a knock 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 on the window, and it's Pim's aunt. Man, she has the worst timing So they both jump out of the car. Pim's aunt thanks Pum for dropping him off and invites him in for something to drink, and he declines, saying that he was just dropping Pim off, and he leaves. Pim is standing there in a trance, trying to process, I guess, what just happened in the car. We cut to the next day, and Pum is at lunch with his friends, and there's a cup of water on the table, condescending, and he's looking at this cup very, happily remembering when Pim touched his lips the night before with the water to help cool off the spicy food. Your boy is sprung. Cupid has shown up. And Beer stays on his neck because he's just like, why are you smiling and giggling at a cup of water? Right around this time, Fong shows up to join them for lunch, and Pum tells Fong about how he ran into Toy the other day and he goes to school here and he's a fine arts student. Fong says that the fine arts students are having a gallery to showcase their work, and Pum quickly, not even a thought, quickly agrees to go to the art gallery. And Beer's like, are you into that kind of thing? Questioning why he would agree so swiftly. Pum is quick on his feet and says he just wants to go there so they can meet Toy. Over at the art faculty, we see Toy and Matt sitting on the staircase when Q and Pim show up. Matt's working on an assignment and Toy was giving him some feedback, and then Q gave the exact same feedback. So I guess Toy is learning something from his mentor. Besides just crushing on him, I guess he's actually listening to the advice he gets. Suddenly, Q leaves and steals Toy's pencil case and just runs off. And Toy's like, oh, PQ, I have a class later, I need that. So while they're in their class, Q is madly sharpening Toy's pencils. If you recall in a previous episode, he broke Toy's pencil, he shocked him and broke it, and none of his other pencils were sharpened, and Q kind of scolded him bro, you need to have multiple pencils ready when you're working on art. As soon as Q's class is over, he rushes out of the classroom, leaving Pim and Faye and to go return the pencils to Toy. He just shows up in Toy's class and tosses the pencil case and doesn't say anything and just leaves. Toy opens the pencil case to reveal the sharpened pencils, and he just smiles. It is so cute. We jump back over to Pim leaving the classroom, complaining about the assignment and how tough it'll be and how he doesn't have any ideas, when, of course, Pum shows up again. He is the Uber service that nobody wanted. And college students stay gossiping, so all of Pim's classmates are like, who is that picking him up? Is that his boyfriend? But they quickly disperse. Pim asks Pum why he's there to pick him up, and Pum covers by saying he's there to make Pim do his job, but I wonder how long it's going to be before he runs out of excuses, because at this point he's just showing up because he wants to see him. Either way, Pim just gets in the car with Pum and then they leave. Back inside the building, since Q ran off from the class earlier, he came back to start on the assignment, and so as he's working on the assignment, Toy shows up and to thank him for sharpening the pencils. Toy asks Q what the new assignment was, and Q explains, what it is. I don't know if I need to explain what it is, but Q explains what the assignment is, and Toy says, it feels good to be someone's favorite artist, right? I think he was trying, that was his attempt at flirting, and Q just responds saying, nonsense. This man does not have a romantic bone in his body. Oh my god. Anyway, there's nothing left to see here, so back to Pum and Pim. They show up to Pum's condo, and Pim's like, what do you want me to do here? And Pum says, clean my condo, but the condo is immaculate, it's not dirty at all. Shocker. So Pim starts trying to clean the condo. I guess Pum tells him to dust, so he's vacuuming right in front of Pum, and Pum's sitting on the couch holding onto this stuffed animal that you will see him with throughout the show. And so Pim grabs the stuffed animal as someone you at your big age still plays with dolls, what's wrong with you? But Pum shoos Pim away, go clean the rest of the apartment, this part's already clean. But Pim, being the petty king that he is, picks up a pillow and starts trying to fluff it right next to Pum's head, which ultimately leads to a pillow fight, and I'm pretty sure you know where this is going. They get into a pillow fight, and Pum accidentally trips, and so does Pim, and they fall on the couch, and then they kiss. As they're laying there staring into each other's eyes, I guess trying to decide, did that really just happen? What are we? Whatever thoughts go through your head when you accidentally kiss somebody. Beer and Mick show up They open the door unannounced, so I'm guessing they have a key or they have a code or something, and they show up. While they're still in this questionable position on the couch, and Beer's like, oh, we didn't know you had a guest. We can leave. We'll come back next time. But Mick is an airhead and says he has a new game and he wants to play. And Pim jumps straight up and is like, I'm leaving. You guys stay. Turns out Pim didn't actually leave because he left his backpack. So a while later, he texts Poom and's like, hey, I left my bag in your condo. I kind of need that. And Poom is like, oh, are you going to wait for me? And Pim says, of course I'm going to wait. My report's in and I need to turn it in tomorrow. As soon as Poom could, he put his friends out. Beer, very quick to catch on. He's one of my favorite characters. Mick, not quick to catch on at all. Like, at all. But luckily, because Beer can catch a vibe, he was able to convince Mick to leave. So Poom's like, okay, bye guys, thanks. See you later. And as soon as they're out of sight, he rushes downstairs to the pool to go grab Pim. He tells Pim he didn't know his friends were coming, and he was actually really sorry. And he hopes that he wasn't mad because it really wasn't his fault. He really didn't want him. He really doesn't want to upset Pim, which I think Pim really appreciated that. He saw, you could see the affection in the eyes, like you could see it. Poom tells Pim to come back upstairs and to cook dinner for him. Pim says, you know very well that I cannot cook, but Poom insists and says there's ingredients in the refrigerator. But I see what Poom did. He only bought ingredients to make one specific dish, probably because he thought it was easy and that Pim would be able to make it. Slick. He was a slick guy. Pim works really hard to make the meal and he serves it, and Poom eats it with a straight face and he's like, Pim, try the food. So Pim tries it and it's salty. It's salty as fuck. Pim practically spits it out and is gonna throw it away, saying that it's not edible. Poom stops him and is like, no, I'm gonna eat it. And he eats the shitty food because love. After cleaning up the dishes, Pim goes and joins Poom on the couch watching TV, and he falls asleep. And as he falls asleep, Poom gently places Pim's head on his shoulders. Very romantic, very booed up. Pim doesn't realize this is what happens, so he wakes up and all he knows is he's laying on the couch by himself with the doll that Poom was holding as a pillow, and Poom is in his room fast asleep. So Pim goes in there and is like, look at you sleeping so well while I'm being all achy on the couch by myself, and throws a pillow at him, but he just leaves after that. So I don't know if this is the next day necessarily, but sometime in the future, Q calls Pim and asks him to come to the school festival. Pim refuses, but he ends up going anyway. So the squad, right, Q, Pim, Chain, and Pun all arrive at the school festival wearing matching outfits, which I think is wild because they're in college, they're all grown men, but you know, whatever. As they're waiting, Tan shows up and he brings his engineering buddies, which consist of course, Poom, Beer, Mick, and Fong. So he introduces everyone, so they're all acquainted now, and he quickly grabs Fong and runs off in the pair. Somehow, Pun and Mick, they make eye contact, and are you thinking what I'm thinking? And then they leave. Chain obviously is not going to stand for this, so he runs off after them. And then Q is like, all right, I gotta go get ready for my performance because he's performing at the festival that night, conveniently leaving Pim and Poom together. The first pair that we follow at the festival are Tan and Fong. Their first stop is to buy a lantern to float on the river at the festival. I'm guessing this is some sort of tradition, but Tan only buys one. So they go to the river to float the lantern, and Tan asks Fong to float the lantern together with him since he only bought one. He didn't buy two. And they decided to float it earlier in the day so they'll be able to do it before it gets crowded. And so I guess they need to make a wish on this before they do. So Fong and Tan hold the lantern together. They both close their eyes, but of course Tan, being who he is, he's staring at Fong while Fong is making a wish instead of making his own wish, but eventually he closes his eyes as well. After everyone is done making their wish, they put the lantern into the water and they stand up and they're watching it float, and then suddenly Tan calls Fang's name and asks if they can start dating. Fang just looks at Tan. It doesn't really say anything, but then Tan starts rambling about how he likes him, and before Tan could finish, Fang says, yes! That was such a quick yes! Oh my god. Like, my heart was racing. I couldn't believe how quickly he said yes. I was like, oh no! But yeah, so Fang said yes to Tan's proposal to start dating, and Tan immediately goes into boyfriend mode. He's like, can I hold your hand? Can I kiss your cheek? Like, can I call you babe? Like, oh, well, he said like the Thai word is tirak. Of course, don't judge me, I don't speak Thai, but I believe it roughly translates to darling, but the subs that I'm watching said babe. Tan gives Fang a kiss on the cheek and they skip off into the distance, and this is like the cutest shit I've seen in a while. Meanwhile, Pim and Poom are practically on a date. They're stopping at all the stalls at the festival. Like, Poom is asking Pim's opinion on things that he's picking up, and then the number one shipper, Toy, shows up. Since they're together, Toy asks again. He's like, you guys said you weren't dating, but here you are again together. Pim is in strong denial while Poom doesn't say anything. He just stands there silently and smiles and kind of, gives a slight nod to Toy, and I think Toy caught what Poom was trying to put down. Toy is me and I am Toy because I would also be doing the same thing. Like, I would also be trying to play Cupid. So after this, everyone congregates to see Q perform. And I don't know why this is so common in the school type dramas, but like we don't have to sing. Like, we don't have to have a guitar. We don't have to have performances. I wish the madness would stop. Although I will acknowledge that the actors are talented, because like if I was an actress, like I don't think I would be too thrilled if the expectation was for me to sing and dance. In addition to being a good actress, like that's just too much. So kudos to all the GMM TV actors, because they all sing and dance from what I've seen so far. Okay, mini rant over. During the performance, I guess Poom was touched by the music or by Pim's beauty. I don't know which one it was. So he grabs Pim by the arm and he's like, come with me, and drags him off, and guess who sees it? My messy bestie Toy. He saw it. Yup. He has such a smug smile on his face. Me too, bestie. Me too. Poom drags Pim to another festival that's happening at a temple, I'm guessing nearby, because it didn't seem like it took him that long to get there. And he tells Pim that he doesn't have to be his slave. So basically, we're on a real date. Why did Poom want to get Pim away from everyone else? So they're pleasantly hanging out at the fair at the temple, trying different foods, like just really having that couple vibe. They're playing a fair game, and Poom wins a stuffed animal and he gives it to Pim. It's a little white buffalo, and he says it looks like him, so that's why he gave it to him. But I bring this up because in the exchange, Pim is like, you said you'd be nice to me today, and Poom says, you're so demanding, Pim. At least that's what the translation said for me. And I don't know what it was about that. I don't know if it's because he's the way that he said Pim's name, but Pim just was like frozen in time. But it gave me the feels. So please go watch this episode. Stick it out to the end so you can see that, so you can also get the feels. Back over at the university festival, Q finishes up his performance and meets up with the gang. I felt like he almost immediately asked, where's Pim? And before anybody could try to answer, Toy quickly covers by saying he hasn't floated a lantern yet and he needs somebody to go with him. Everyone says that they've already floated theirs earlier, so they can't go with him, and he's pretending, or maybe he is genuinely sad that no one wants to go with him. He doesn't want to do it by himself. But everyone points at Q because Q's been on stage performing the whole time, so there's no way he was able to float a lantern. So Toy begs Q to go with him to do it, and Q reluctantly agrees to go. They go to purchase the lanterns, and Q buys one for himself and tells Toy to buy one, but Toy doesn't have any money, so he asks Q to buy him one, and Q refuses to buy one, like an extra one. And so Toy's like, well, if you're Like, if you can't buy me one, like, I genuinely don't have any money. If you can't buy me one, can we float this lantern together? Q just waves him off and says, do what you want. So, quite naturally, he happily follows Q to the river, and they float the lantern together. More romance. This one's a little bit more romantic than Tan and Fong because it's nighttime, so it looks really pretty. Jumping back to the temple fair with Phum and Peem, they finally go to buy their lantern to float, and because they waited so long, there's only one left. It's really pretty, but there's only one left, and they race to buy it, and of course Phum buys it first, and he asked the lady to make another one, but she says she ran out of banana leaves, and so she only has, like, I don't know, I guess kind of like not enough tools, but she'll try. Right, so she goes to go make it, and Pim says to Phum, I don't understand why people like you always get good stuff. And Phum's like, people like me? Like, what do you mean by that? Pim starts describing all the negative traits that he thinks Phum has. The last thing he says is that he's heartless. And Phum says, what if I have it? What if you have what? What if you have what? And he says, feelings in my heart. When the scream I scrumped when he said that, like, you would think that I was in the drama. I almost fell out of my chair. Honestly, I had to take a lap. I had to take a lap and come back. Pim tries to buy some sparklers for them to light at the dock, and he took too long to find his money, so Phum paid. Phum is such a sugar daddy. He pays for everything, and this man must have like a bottomless wallet. They finally make it to the dock to float their lanterns, where they make their wish and they lock eyes and things like that, and then they do sparklers and it's fun, and then they leave. Phum drops him off at the fine arts faculty, offering to drive him home, but Pim says he has to keep working on his artwork. It's apparently very normal for them to go back in the middle of the night and work on their assignments. While dropping Pim off, Phum expresses how thankful he is for Pim going to the festival with him, because he's never done anything like that before, and he like really had a good time. So he's sincerely thanking Pim, saying that his parents never really had time for him, and that Fong and Beer were the only people who had time to hang out with him. So he thanked him again, and this just really moved Pim's heart. Like, he remembers all of the compliments he was giving. Like, if you recall, when he was drunk and he was like, you got a tall nose, and like going on and on and on. Pim, I guess, is just like overwhelmed by Phum's handsome face, and he just goes for it. He just leans in and he starts kissing him. Oh my god. And he's like really going for it too. Like, I just don't know. I don't know what to think. My head is in a tizzy. There are like fireworks and shit going off too. Like, it just, perfectly timed. Like, this so well executed. Like, I'm in shock at how like deep and long this kiss is. Like, what is happening? Are we dating? Are we a thing now? Like, because I'm asking, what are we? Anyway, as I'm sure you guys have seen into the show, good God, man. Okay, so that was a lot. A lot happened in this episode. Like, I feel like we were going really slow, and then like suddenly just have all this activity. So first I want to start off with Tan and Fong. I didn't think I would be that excited for them to be a couple. Like, honestly, I didn't think I was that invested in them. Like I mentioned before, the actor that plays Fong, I think he's really handsome, and probably because he reminds me of one of my K-pop boys, but that's besides the point. And I also think I've been influenced a little bit about the Tan and Fong like edits that I've seen, but either way, they are like so stinking cute. Like, I was like genuinely happy when like Tan's character was happy. Like, they're just so cute. They're so adorable together. So, and they're also like the first official couple, which is crazy because they seemingly have had very little interaction up until this point, but I'm here for it. I'm so excited to see them as a couple. I can't wait to see how their relationship develops in the later episodes. Now on to my wild child, Pim. I honestly can't believe he made like the first like serious move. Like, I cannot believe that he kissed Phum. I can't believe that he kissed Phum first. I just don't even know where to start with them, because like I feel at the beginning of this episode, not too long ago, they were upset with each other, right? Very upset. And now suddenly him wants to make out with Phum. And it wasn't like a light peck either. Like, it was like full blown, head turning and all. What gave him the signal that Phum was interested in him like that? I mean, outside of all the things that Phum has been doing. But what gave him the audacity? I mean, honestly, I'm just in a state of shock because given the pacing of this show, like I just didn't think we would have anything like this early on in the series. I mean, we're about like a third of the way through right now. But I guess they had to give us something to kind of keep us engaged because, like I mentioned before, I feel like it is a little bit slow, a little slow. I'm curious to see if they're gonna jump right into being a couple in the next episode, or if we're still gonna drag this out a little bit more. I feel like we're missing some good old fashioned miscommunication, so that's gonna be my prediction for the episodes in the near future. We got almost nothing on Q and Toy, and definitely absolute dust on Chain and Pun. So once again, hoping that they start to flesh those relationships out a little bit more in the future episodes. Because while I do love seeing Phum and Pim, I know that there are other couples, and so I want to see their development as well. But honestly, I just want to see Toy on the screen more because, like I said, he's my messy bestie. I love that he is a shipper, but also I think he's really adorable. So I think he needs more screen time. I'm definitely ready for episode 6. Very, very excited to see where we're going next. And with that, we've come to the end of another episode. Today's episode is sponsored by the D&D Boys dance cover of Maestro by 17. I feel like they've been getting a lot of shit on Twitter, but I'm here to support dreams, okay? And I'm a huge James Sue fan, and I'm gonna support him no matter what. Okay, you can always improve on singing and dancing, and what matters is that you're trying. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out on YouTube. I thought it was pretty good. That dance, anything 17 does is hard, and for them to be able to execute it as well as they did, I think deserves an applause. That's all for today, and as usual, thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Blushed. If you liked this episode, please leave a review. For drama recs or listener letters, please email them to blushpodcast@gmail.com. Remember, stay rosy, and I'll see you in the next one.